Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back. We are doing a yin yoga class today, so please go ahead and grab some pillows if you don't have them already. Any blocks that you might have, any other props that you would like to support yourself in these longer hold classes and practices. We are going to start off seated today. So I'm going to sit up on a block or sitting on a pillow is super helpful just so we can find a really grounded, comfortable, cross-legged. And then have a look at your ankles. Notice which one is in front. And then I'm going to try to drop my knees down and work my heels more in a line with each other. Mine won't really reach, but some of us might have more space. Take your shoulders all the way up towards your ears. Get a nice long stretch through the body. And then open mouth, exhale. Let your body sink into space. Let's roll the fingers up. Let them gently curl in on the palms of the hands and rest the hands, the backs of the hands, on your knees. Allow your eyelids to gently close. And allow your entire body to soften, keeping the structure and integrity of your cross-legged seat. I'm just going to take a few breaths here to draw the awareness inward. Soften where you can. Relax any tension in your shoulders. Relax any tension in your hip creases. Relax your jaw. Allow your body just to settle into this first pose. I'm taking the time now to bring your awareness into that third eye center. Draw your vision to the space behind your closed eyelids. And notice any colors or shapes or images that might start to arise. Try not to be attached with one particular color, shape, or image over the other. Just observe and notice. Try not to force any images, and if none arrive, allow that to be as well. Yin yoga, once again, is the practice of no hurries, no worries, a lot less shapes to make with your body, and a lot more quality into the shapes that we are making. Spending time in each and every space, working through questioning why it is that we might become uncomfortable, observing, and really starting to ask yourself what it is that you are trying to move away from. And how can we shift into that being rather than the doing? There's this idea of doing yoga allows us to get something, get stronger, get more flexible, even get in touch. Right? But the truth yoga, the truth of it, is that what you are seeking, you already have within. So rather than a body doing yoga, you become a body being a state of yoga And that state is the observation. It's the absence of doing, that collectiveness of being. And the only way to become being is by stopping the doing, resisting the urge to tickle, itch, adjust, or shift out of, and really observe in the space of unconditional presence on what it is that you're wanting to tickle, itch, shift, or move away from. Three more breaths to just observe. Take a full inhale through the nose. Allow the belly to fill, the abdomen to fully embrace the air that's drawing in. Open mouth side out. Once again, feel gravity take over and the weight of the body surrender. Gently draw your hands to heart center. Tuck your chin towards your thumbs. Press your breastplate back into the thumbs. Feel how that adjusts your posture. Awesome. Go ahead and relax your hands. Lift your gaze. Beautiful. So we're going to come into our reclined bound angle. So removing your block. Placing your block. So if you have pillows, that's all right. Blocks also, we're going to place between the shoulder blades and then along where the head is going to go. Soles of the feet to touch, knees come out to the side. You can extend your legs forward to release the stress on the hips, and then gently start to walk yourself all the way back down. Center your spine evenly on your prop. Relax your head, roll the palms open. Take an inhale, feel the lungs fill with air. And then as you exhale, feel the body become heavy onto. And if you don't, so another option here, if you want to pause the video, is to grab a blanket and roll it long ways. Slide the blanket from the tailbone all the way the length of the spine. A towel also will work. I'm keeping the eyes closed, the gaze inwards. Just allowing the knees to become heavy here. Soles of the feet coming together. Feeling that connection of limb to limb. Creating a loop of energy. Allowing every breath to just drop in a little further, a little deeper. Just finding what more you can let go of. Relaxing into the jaw, the cheeks and the cheekbones. Just letting calming energy softly sweep through the entire body like an ocean wave cleansing. Staying present with the sound of your breath is always an option. Staying present with the sensation, the feeling of the breath. Or finding a mantra that serves you, keeping your mind on a single point of focus. And allowing the breath to almost completely disappear. The further you drop into the pose, the softer the breath will become. The more relaxed the body, and the more healing will start to take place. Go ahead and take 5 more breaths here. Taking one more full inhale, allow the lungs to fill completely. And slowly sigh it out. Bringing the hands next to the thighs. I'm going to heel toe my feet apart and allow the knees to come back together. You can take the feet a little bit wider here and draw the knees towards each other, finding a teepee pose. You can stay on your props just for a few moments while the hips come back, relieve and repair some of the sensation. When you're ready, gently we're going to roll to one side, coming all the way off, and then using your top hand to bring you all the way up. Let's come into a tabletop shape. So we're going to draw the knees under the hips, the shoulders directly over the wrists. I'm going to keep my blocks where they are for the next pose. We'll take a few cat and cows just to kind of bring in some fluidity into the body. Really spread your fingers here, grip the earth, maybe gently rocking back and forth in your cow pose. I quite like the sensation of that. And then maybe just rolling through the spine, tugging the chin, creating space between each and every vertebrae, and shoulder blades creating space. Squeezing and hugging the collarbones towards each other. Maybe even if you want, activate the shins and press them into the mat. And then let's go ahead and find neutral. Right foot is going to come to the outside of the right hand, and we're going to start to lunge deeply. So if you want to take a blanket under that left knee, you can also flip your mat so that the left knee is extra cushioned. And then from here, we're going to bring the blocks. I'm going to bring my blocks next to my right foot. I'm the only one. And then option to stay up on your hands. This can be quite a deep stretch here. Feel free to close the eyes. If you have the space, you can walk your elbows down towards the block, the pillow, or maybe even fully on the floor. But in yin fashion, we're not pushing past our edge here. So we want to find a point in which we can hang out for a little while. Relax where you can. soften what you can. And if this is a really comfortable pose for you and your hips are quite open, if you want to take it one step deeper, you're going to place that right foot on top of the block and give yourself that added space. Mine's not wanting to hang out there, so I'm going to come back to neutral, but just as an option to deepen into this pose. We are all in different shapes, different places of openness, different strengths. And that's what makes us amazing humans, tapping into those strengths and balancing into the areas that need a little bit more love. It's quite easy to clench your jaw and draw your shoulders to your ears in this pose. And it's also beneficial, for me at least, to deepen my breath here. So I really want to stay focused and have my mantra being mind on the breath and the breath on my mind. I am aware of my inhales. And I'm aware of my exhales. The moment the body gets really tight and tense, we tend to hold our breath. It's probably one of the worst things that we can do in a yin practice is to hold our breath. In any yoga practice, really. Unless, of course, it happens to be underwater, which I don't think any of you are. So breathe deep, breathe full, and breathe calm. You can always back out of this pose if it becomes too much. 5 more breaths. And I invite you, if you do want to back out, to observe that. Look and see what it is that's making you want to move, that's making you want to shift. Is it frustration? Is it boredom? Is it irritation? These are hips and hamstrings, so those are common. One more inhale. Soften, exhale. Hands back to the floor if they're not already. And then slowly we're going to work our way out. Let's stack the left hip directly over the left knee and just give that a moment. I'm going to take the block behind my right hip and sit right down on it. So you can have this right hip as elevated as much as possible. We want it even with the left hip. So if there's not a lot of space in your left knee here, go ahead and bring your hips up a little bit higher. Sit up nice and tall, drop your shoulders down, and pour yourself forward. So I've got an extra pillow here. I'm going to use this one. Just melt myself down. So if you have extra pillows, stacking them up. We want to make sure the knee is not hyperextended. I know it's hard to see probably, but we want to make sure that knee is not hyperextended. And if you need to, you can also place something underneath it, just for that added support. This is where towels and blankets come in really handy. Go ahead and bring your left ear so that you're looking over that right leg. If you can, elbows to the floor, if that's what's comfortable space for you. If not, no big deal. If your hands are not in use, palms roll open. The breath becomes soft, controlled. And once again, bring your awareness into the places of the body. See it with your mind's eye. And spend a little extra time there, a little extra love, a little extra care. Similar to a relationship, an external relationship with a friend, a partner, a spouse, or a child. Any kind of forcing or abruptness to that relationship typically causes tension. The relationship with your body is exactly the same. So rather than coming into that relationship with expectations, force, or a sense of control, we come into the relationship with ourselves from a place of love, of open and accepting of where we are as we are. And sometimes that can be a very hard concept to grasp, understand, and really remember, because we are pounded externally with not being good enough, right? Strong enough, fit enough, pretty enough, not being enough. But you wouldn't come into a relationship with anyone else with the expectation that they're not good enough. So I invite you now to come into the relationship with yourself, your body, your mind, your heart, as if you would come into a relationship with your partner. Accepting fully, flaws included. Just take 5 more breaths on this side. We're all flawed. That's what makes us beautiful. Embrace them. Don't force them away. Gently start to walk your hands back towards your body. Take a full inhale. I love yin. It's so juicy. All right, we're going to move to the other side. Walking yourself forward. I'm going to bring my block back up to the top of my mat here. Take my right knee back. And let's just take one cat and cow because I felt good last time. So inhale. Drop the belly. Try not to let it hang though. So keep the navel actively drawn towards the spine. So we're just arching the spine, lifting sit bones, lifting the heart. And then find our arcing cat. And then find neutral, left foot forward. Dropping onto that right knee. And again, either supporting that right knee, using your blocks or your pillows under your hands, your yoga posters, your props, whatever they are. Just taking a few extra breaths to really open into this pose. Explore into it. It was one of my favorite ways my teachers used to say is explore the pose. Explore the pose. And since we're still in yin, there's not a lot of movement going on to fully explore. We can find those micro adjustments with breath, with mind's eye, exploring the inner sensations of what's coming up, of what's going on, of the parts of the body that are tense. And just checking in that those parts of the body that are tense are actually needed in this pose. Are you clenching your jaw, grinding your teeth? Is your forehead wrinkly? How are your shoulders? None of which are a part of the pose and what's actually going on here. And once again, mantra, breath on the mind, mind on the breath. The fuller and deeper I can breathe, the more my body allows me to relax and Move deeper into the pose. And I don't necessarily mean physically deeper. I mean the next layer that comes up. Maybe there's a difference in between the sides for you. Maybe this side is a little bit more accessible. Maybe it's a little more intense. And just notice. Remembering the beauty of yoga is that there's no right and there's no wrong. There's observation, there's alignment and safety, but there is no wrong. You cannot go wrong. Five more breaths. You can do this. Last full inhale here. Full exhale. Gently. Using the strength of your arms and not your legs. Slow, slow, slow. Name of the game is to move slow out of your yin poses. Let's go ahead and stack the right hip over the right knee. I'm going to take my yoga prop, bring it back next to my right foot, and left sit bone down to the ground. I sit up nice and tall. Take a full inhale. I'm going to bring my long pillow alongside my left leg. And then I'm going to melt myself all the way down. Taking my right ear to the pillow and taking a gaze over my left leg. And again, palms rolling open if the hands are relaxed and not in use. Just melting into this pose. Go ahead and take 10 more breaths here. One more full inhale. Complete empty exhale. Hands alongside. Gently bring yourself all the way up. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and remove that extra prop. I'm going to lift the hips up off of what I'm sitting on, extend my legs forward. We're going to come into our final Shavasana. I'm going to take my long pillow underneath my knees. So if you have a pillow for your knees, feel free to do so. Let your toes roll open and gently bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Tuck the shoulder blades under so they're flat to the mat. Let your arms open up. Take your arms away from your body. Take a full inhale. Allow your belly to rise with the inhale. And then as you slow sigh out, as if relieving pressure from a tire, fully surrender onto your mat. Relax your jaw. Allow your eyeballs to become heavy. And allow your entire body to melt into the floor. Notice each and every connection point on the back body to the floor, to your mat. Become fully present in feeling that groundedness. Bring your awareness to the front body, open, vulnerable, and willing to the sky above. Notice the balance, that equanimity of sensation from front body to back body. As you are grounded, you are free. As you soar, you are connected. Both equal and opposing keeps us neutral. Keeps us climbing to our highest potential, yet safe and confident that we have our ground beneath us. And that intuition that lives within, that internal teacher, guides the way. Find your foundation. Feel secure and stable in your grounding so that you can soar. See yourself soaring. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead, extend your legs forward, take a full body yawn. And exhale, soften. Drawing your knees to your chest and gently rolling onto your side. Once again, using the top hand to bring yourself all the way up to your seat. Finding a comfortable cross-legged seat. Bring your palms to touch. Place your thumbs at your heart center. Thank you again, yogis, for joining me. Thank you for being here with me, sharing your practice, and continuing on your path and your journey, and honoring each and every aspect and from a space of unconditional. Namaste.